Hi, I'm Chuck Martin. We're here at the AI Summit London, and I'm very happy to say I've got Uthman Ali here, Senior Product Analyst, Digital Ethics Lead at BP. Welcome.
Great to have me.
So your sweet spot and what you're involved in is ethics. Tell me about that, and where AI and ethics, where it is today, and where do you want it to go?
You know, in life, what you want and what the reality is can often be two very different things, right? Because with AI ethics, it's so funny, because last year at the AI Summit I was here, and you saw some panel discussions on it. Ethics was sort of filtering into conversations, is bubbling up here and there. But the space of the last 12 months, like the amount of discussions that are on it, because things like generative AI and the importance of this topic is just disrupted everything, right? Now we know that ethics is not just a nice to have, it's like foundation to how you should be functioning as a company when using AI responsibly.
So are other people in the enterprise starting to wake up to this? I mean, I know you've been involved in it all the time, but a lot of other people, they just saw, all of a sudden they saw ChatGPT and said, oh, there's AI.
I mean, this is where it comes down to even just like general AI literacy. For a lot of people, especially outside of the digital space, they still think of AI as just iRobot and physical robots when you're mentioning AI ethics. But with ChatGPT was just how accessible it was as a technology. Everyone in the world is playing with it. Everyone said, oh, I can actually see real issues with the bias or misinformation with this, and I can understand how this would be personally impact me. Then it was, oh, that's what AI ethics is. That's what this is.
So where do you start? If a company is just starting to get involved in this now, I mean, I know BP has been involved for some time, but if you're another company and now you're seeing this ChatGPT kind of thing, you're seeing a lot of generative AI, and the CEO starts to think about ethics, is it that level yet?
I mean, it's starting to get there more, but in terms of where you start, it has to start with like how you're actually using AI now, and understanding as a company, like what are you actually using AI for? Like, are you using AI to make predictions about people, for like retail, for inventory and all that sort of stuff? And to actually think through what are the sort of unintended consequences that could have been happening or maybe are happening that you just were sort of unaware of.
And what about for creativity? In terms of using AI and ethics, where does that
It's
fit?
so funny, right? Because I had like a list of AI ethics policies I'm working on, and AI for creativity was sort of down the list because I was like, it's very cool, but it's not that widespread yet. It will come. Then ChatGPT even disrupted me, so like there you go. All of a sudden, AI for creativity, it looks like it'll be fundamental to like the future of work. And the interesting thing is, even ethically, the sales pitch has always been with AI, right? AI will automate like dull, dirty, dangerous jobs. We get to do the fun, creative stuff. Now it's actually doing the cool things. I was thinking, actually, what is our role in this? But it really comes down to, even with ethics now, instead of just risk mitigation, it's like, how do you even have a good conversation with ChatGPT? How do you actually get the best out of human AI collaboration? Because with ethics, like I fundamentally believe that it's not just about protecting reputation, mitigating ethical risk. It's really about being an enabler and saying, this is how, these tools are here to stay, we're going to be using them. This is how we should be working with AI.
So how do companies identify bias in AI? Because it's done by people initially.
Yeah, yeah. The identification of bias, there are tools you can use for bias mitigation and everything, but a lot of it comes from the actual like human level of the people actually building systems. And to understand that as humans, right, with education, like you can teach people to go, these are all the different types of biases that can filter through your technology. But with things like ChatGPT, an interesting one is, one of the big ethical risks I can foresee is automation bias. That produces things so perfectly, right? It's actually too good what it produces. When it hallucinates and it spews inaccurate outputs, but you just take it at face value that this is correct and like you're less likely to fact check. And did you ever watch that TV show called Little Britain? And you remember they used to say computer says no, and you just turn away everyone? Whereas like computer says no on a global scale, that ChatGPT says this, or AI says this, we're just going to go with that over the person because it seemed to be objective.
But it looks true.
But it looks true, and that's what looks can be deceiving, right? Is that the appearance, and this is where it highlights so much of even just the pace of the modern world, how fast you have to produce things. Often it's the appearance of things can seem like it matters more than the actual content, which is why it's even more difficult when using things like generative AI.
So you're moderating a panel here on retail. Where does that fit?
Well, with retail, it's an interesting one because this is often where companies want to get in the AI space because it's the whole thing about being product-led and human-centered design and like delighting your customers is the new buzzword, right? We all have to delight our customers. So naturally they go, right, let's put some AI in this. AI can delight our customers. But that's where the interesting thing is, like on the panel, we're really excited is that we've got a good group because we have people that are tech experts, look at what are the technical capabilities of AI, people have actually experienced operationalizing AI in retail, the pitfalls, and like what are the steps to go even beyond like proof of concept to actually make this real across the business. Then finally you have an expert in actual AI ethics and human AI interaction. So like, even when you speak to things like generative AI or like ChatGPT and these customer chatbots, what actually makes a good customer experience? Because you don't want to have the thing where they become so attached to the chatbot they fall in love with it, because that's not the experience you want to make. But actually, how do you make like a good, smooth customer experience? How do you get it human-like, but also have people understand that this is just actually a tool you're speaking to, it's not a real person?
Do you think consumers are aware of this yet, or just starting to become aware?
I think they're becoming slightly more aware than definitely where they were last year, especially because of the media presence now with AI ethics and AI safety. A lot of it are talking about, you know, singularity and rogue AI and that sort of stuff, but it is entering the public conscious now, and like, especially with the younger generation, I found a lot of people are actively choosing to work for companies that have AI policies in place or consider AI ethics, but even consumers are like, I'll only give my data to companies that I actually trust. Otherwise, you know, I actually don't trust what you're doing with this AI stuff, and that's where there might be trust, the mistrust might even be misplaced, but they're actively saying, I'm going to make consumer choices based on AI ethics now.
So a year from now, we're sitting here having this conversation, what would we be talking about in ethics?
The robots have taken over. That'd be really funny if they actually just came. I was completely wrong with that.
So it wouldn't be you here,
yeah, it would actually just be, it might even be my digital twin AI version of me that's way better looking and way better at this. But actually, the truth is, we don't know. It's that the space is moving so quickly. There could be video and generative AI might be the new big thing. That all of a sudden we can automate animations of me during this interview, and you don't even need to, it could be a whole new creative like dynamic we could have. But the truth is, like, I don't know. It's so funny growing up, because you know everyone says anything's possible, anything can happen. And it used to be so positive and uplifting. Now it's like anything can happen. Like, get ready, like we don't know what's around the corner, right? Which is both exciting and slightly scary, because it's just the unknown unknowns.
Well, I look forward to that conversation. Thank you so much.
Thanks again, thanks for having me, and I hope everyone has like a really great time here. Like last year I came here, I was blown away by the event. I think this year's gonna be even better.
Excellent.